All right, let's practice some sentences. I'm going to prompt you with English sentences based on the grammar from Unit 1, Lesson 6, and it's going to be your job to try to translate these sentences into Korean. In Lessons 1 to 4, you slowly learn how to make more complicated sentences. In Lesson 5, you learn how to start to conjugate those sentences. In Lesson 6, you learn how to apply informal and formal endings to those conjugations. Because Lesson 5 and 6 are not really focused on making more difficult sentences, but instead how to conjugate those sentences, the sentences that we create in this lesson won't be all that complicated because we'll be focusing on the conjugations. I want to remind you that I taught you 3 new different types of conjugations in Lesson 6, and I called them the informal low respect, the informal high respect, and the formal high respect. Also in Lesson 5, you learn what I call the plain form conjugation. In each case, I'm going to tell you which conjugation you should use, whether it be this one, or this one. The first sentence I would like you to try to translate is, I cleaned the room. And I would like you to try to conjugate that into the informal high respect. I'll give you 10 seconds, and you can start now. Okay, the subject of the sentence is I, so I can put 저는 here. Again, I'm talking about a high respect, so this sentence is going to end in yo, and therefore I need to use the formal 저 to refer to me or I. The object of the sentence is the room. Again, there's no real way to say the in Korean, so you just need to indicate that it's a room. This could actually translate to I cleaned a room or I cleaned the room, and the context would have to make it clear. This is the object of the sentence, so I would put the object particle on 방. And now I need to add the verb to clean, and in the past tense. The verb for to clean is 청소하다, 청소하다. However, I want to add the past tense conjugation to do this to it, and then I want to make it the informal high respect, which would end like this. This sentence would read, 저는 방을 청소했어요. The second sentence I would like you to try is, I watched a movie. And again, I would like you to translate this using the conjugation of the informal high respect. I'll give you 10 seconds, and you can start now. Okay, this sentence is going to look very similar to this sentence up here. The only difference is I have a different object and a different verb, but both verbs are conjugated into the past tense and actually in the same formality. The subject of the sentence is 저, and I add the subject particle. I'm going to talk about a movie, so I can put the object 영화, which translates to movie. Again, in theory, the sentence that we create could translate to I watched the movie or I watched a movie. The context would have to make it clear on which one you're referring to or which one you would translate it to. In this case, this is the object of the sentence, so I want to add the object particle 를, and I have to indicate the word for watched. Now, in English, I can say the word to look, to see, and to watch, and all of those basically are you using your eyes looking at something. The good thing about Korean is all of those words can be used for the same verb in Korean, and that verb is 보다. And as I said, this could translate to see, to watch, or to look, and maybe even others that I'm not even thinking about right now. So that's the verb that I want to use here. However, I want to conjugate this into the past tense, so I'm going to add this to it. And then as I'm going to conjugate it in the informal high respect, I need to add this onto it as well. This sentence would read, 저는 영화를 봤어요. The third sentence I would like you to try is, that car is slow. And I would like you to try to translate this using the informal low respect form. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can go now. Okay, the subject of the sentence is that car. I can write down the word for car, which is cha. And because that's the subject of the sentence, I can put the subject particle nun here. Now, if this sentence said the car is slow or a car is slow, as I said in these two sentences up here, I wouldn't really need to put anything here, and the context would make it clear whether or not you're talking about the car or a car. However, that car is something that you can say in Korean and specifically indicate that you're talking about that car. It's a little bit ambiguous in this case if you're talking about that car as in something that you're looking at from far away, or if you're talking about that car as referencing from a previous situation or a previous sentence. I'll just assume that it's the latter one and it's 그 차, and it's not something that you're looking at, but 저 차 would also be possible as well, depending on which type of car you're talking about. And now you want to indicate that the car is slow. All you need to do here is use the adjective for to be slow, and you don't need to specifically translate is because this is contained in the Korean adjective, whatever I write. The word for to be slow is 느리다, so I can start writing that and it would look 느리, and I'm not going to finish it because I need to add something to it. The informal low honorific, what I would need to do is add this to it, and that's all. If I want to add this to this is the stem of 느리다, I need to choose to add this one, and this is going to merge directly to the stem, so it's going to look like this, 느려. Remember, if I add this plus this, it actually turns into 여. So this is why this looks like 느려. This whole sentence would read 그 차는 느려. The fourth sentence I would like you to try is I will go to the classroom. And let's translate that using the formal high respect form. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now. Okay, the subject of the sentence is I, so I will include this at the beginning. I want to indicate that I'm going to the classroom, so the classroom is 교실. 교실 translates to classroom in English. Now, just so you know, if I look at the hanja for this, 교 refers to some sort of school thing, and 실 refers to a room. So really, this is just school room. Well, that's what a classroom is. Anytime I want to indicate that I go to a particular location or somebody goes to a particular location, you need to indicate that using the particle a. Now, I'm going to this place, so I need to use the verb 가다. That's the stem of the verb 가다. And I want to add the future tense conjugation to this, so I can add 겠다 or ket to indicate that it's in the future. And if I want to do this with the formal high respect in the most possible formal way that I can do it, I would have to add 씁니다 to this. So in total, this would read 저는 교실에 가겠습니다. The last sentence I would like you to try is I met the principal in the morning. And let's also translate this using the formal high respect form. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now. Okay, again, I'm going to start the sentence with 저는. Now I want to indicate that I met would be the verb that's going to be at the end of the sentence, but I need to indicate that the object of the sentence is the principal, and I need to indicate that that happened in the morning. The word for morning in Korean is 아침, and I mentioned earlier that you can use a to indicate the place that a person is going to, but a also acts to indicate the time in which something happens. In this sentence, the morning is the time in which something happens, so I can add a to 아침. In Korean, it's ambiguous whether or not you're meeting the principal or meeting a principal. The context would always have to make it clear which one you would translate it to. In this case, the word for principal in Korean is kyo. Again, there's the kyo, which is the same kyo as in this kyo, because principal also relates to a school. Chang actually means big or leader or something like that. So you're talking about the school leader. And then son saying nim actually means teacher. So really what this is the school leader teacher. That's why 교장 선생님 means principal. That's the object of the sentence, or in other words, that's the thing that I met, or the person that I met. And therefore I need to add the object particle onto that. Now I want to indicate that I met this person, and the word for met is 만나다. 만나. That's the stem of 만나다, and I want to add the past tense conjugation to that. So it would look like that. And now I want to do this into the formal high respect, so I should add 씁니다 to that. This whole sentence would read, 저는 아침에 교장 선생님을 만났습니다. I want to point out that this 아침에 and 교장 선생님을, you could actually switch these two here. I talk about sentence order more specifically in lesson 8, but it's also possible that you could say 저는 교장 선생님을 아침에 만났습니다. Well, that was fun. I hope you learned a lot.